3, 2, 1, Happy New Year! You don't want to be the same person that you were in 2020, do you? In this video, I'm going to give you 5 New Year's resolutions that you can make and ways to help you follow them. What's up guys, it's Alexia and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. My content is mainly for high schoolers and it includes content about fitness, nutrition, self-care, and academics, basically everything you need to live your best life in high school. If that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. With 2021, I know everyone is out there trying to make some resolutions. One of the most difficult things about sticking to your resolutions is that you don't have a concrete plan in place to help you execute and follow through on those. So in this video, I wanted to give you 5 common resolutions that you can implement within your life and also concrete tips on how to follow through with those as well. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Number 1 is to spend less time on screens. This is super important, especially in the era of digital learning, where you're most likely spending your time in school on a screen as well. It's really important to unplug and spend as much of your free time away from screens and doing other things. One of the first tips that I have for you to help implement this is to set up screen and time limits for your phone. So you'll see right here on my phone for Instagram, I actually have reached my time limit for the day. So this is something that I've set for myself. Obviously, I have the password and as you can see, I can override it myself. However, for me, it acts as a quick check for me to really assess what I'm doing with my life. Before I scroll on Instagram mindlessly, I'm like, wait, do I really need to be doing this? And most often the answer is no, I don't need to be, and I end up doing something else instead. This is something super easy that you can set up, and the more you start monitoring your screen time on your phone, the more you'll realize that you're spending too much time on your screens, too much time on social media, and this is time that can be used better elsewhere. Next, I like to spend at least 30 minutes a day being active and away from a screen. For me, this is usually a nice long walk outside, or I go out and spend time at the gym. This is great for 2 reasons. 1, it'll help you stay active, get that blood flowing, but 2, it's another way for you to unplug and to do some activities that don't involve using a screen. I recommend that you tell your family your plan about this so that they can help keep you accountable. If your family sees you using your phone around the house, they can politely remind you that you made a resolution to use it less, which will definitely help you stay on track. Also, in my family, we have a no device rule at the dinner table, so anytime I'm eating, my phone is out of sight, out of mind, so it's another way for me to unplug and to connect with my family. This next tip is something I'm sure we can all use, and it's to curse less or to stop cursing altogether. I'm definitely guilty of this myself, but when I hang out with my friends, you know, I'm having a good time and words are just slipping out. But I think that overall, in order to live a healthier, better, more well-rounded life, it's probably best to cut out cursing altogether. Some tips that I have for this one is to take a few more seconds to think before you speak and think about why you're including that curse word in the first place. I'd say most often that word is being included for emphasis, so you can find other words to use in place of it. My very favorite is using frick frack snick snack in the place of the F word, you know, be like, oh, what the frick frack snick snack happened here? Kind of silly, and because it does take longer for you to say it, it's like an extra moment of self-reflection and you're like, wow, I really shouldn't have said that bad word in the first place. So, you know, something fun you can figure out, and something like that is super elaborate and your friends will catch on to the fact that you're doing it, and you guys can even all do it together and make it like a group joke, so it'll be something fun like that. Another big one is, it's totally up to you, but it might be changing the type of music that you listen to. You can still find a lot of the music that you like, but maybe find the clean version of it instead. The less you hear the words in general, the more likely you are to repeat it and say it within your daily life. I also suggest that you tell your friends about your plans for this one as well, so that they can help keep you accountable and they might want to do the same thing as well, and you make a group rule to stop cursing altogether, which will definitely help you. And I think that this tip is super important because although people do have different modes and they speak differently to their friends than they do to adults or in a professional setting, it's just better altogether to get into the habit of not cursing and not using that type of language. Number 3 is to communicate better. So as someone who works on a bunch of teams and does a lot of collaborative work, it's super important that I communicate well with my team. A few things that I've been implementing and that I suggest for you as well is, number 1, to answer to messages as soon as they come in. So I think it's super common that people will get a notification and they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll just respond to that later. But then you never get around to actually doing it. My tip is, as soon as it comes in, try and respond ASAP, get it right in, right out. That way the other person isn't left wondering what you're doing or what you're thinking about, and that there's more open lines of communication. As well, if you didn't have a chance to answer that message right away, I like to answer every single message by the time I go to sleep, so I go to bed with no missed notification messages. That way, each day I start fresh with my new lines of communication open. So this is something that I recommend you try out as well and see how it goes. A third thing that I did for this was I started turning my read receipts on for text messages, so it helps with that first tip I just gave about responding right away. Sometimes if I look at a text and forget to reply, my read receipts will be on so the other person knows that I read it, so they can check back in with me and be like, hey Alexia, you forgot to reply, or hey, can you get back to me? And it's just a better way to keep yourself accountable to be replying to messages. Resolution number 4, I'm sure it's on everybody's list, it's to eat more healthy. So this can be done in a variety of ways. My first tip for you is probably drinking at least your body weight in water every single day. Although drinking water isn't the same thing as eating, it does have a great effect on your body. The more you drink, the better your bodily systems are running, and you'll definitely feel more awake and alert at all times. Next, every time you eat a meal, make sure that there's at least one fruit or one vegetable on the plate at the same time. For me, I eat fruits with my breakfast and also fruits with my snacks, but every time I eat a meal, there's definitely vegetables on the plate. Just making this small adjustment and thinking a little bit extra and adding a little extra food to your plate will definitely help you to be a lot healthier. I recommend swapping out all the unhealthy food that you have in your house for healthier alternatives. This will definitely take a big shopping trip, but I promise you it'll be worth it, because the next time you reach for a snack, instead of grabbing that big bag of potato chips, you'll have a much healthier alternative to snack on instead. Last, especially with there being more time spent at home during quarantine and with COVID restrictions, I suggest that you take some time to learn how to cook, so that way instead of constantly having to eat out or order in, you can take the opportunity to prepare some food for yourself, which is definitely more cost effective and it's also better for your health. Alright, so that's it for some New Year's resolutions that you can implement in 2021 and concrete steps on how you can carry out those resolutions. Of course, these are just my humble opinions and ways that I like to help myself be a better person, but by no means do you have to follow any of this advice. It's totally up to you. I hope that with the new year starting, everything is good with you and your families, and that you guys are all working towards being your better selves. If this video was helpful to you in any way, I hope that you give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!